For a long time, I refused to start filming without a perfect idea. Not just any idea, something that felt really right. And if that wasn't enough, I was waiting for a perfect conditions. Quieter day, clearer mind, or something like that. And the truth is, while I was waiting, nothing happened at all. Sitting in front of a blank screen or empty notebook, it started to be kind of a routine. Every idea that I had, it seemed like it was too small, too incomplete, or just not worth filming it. And I convinced myself that if I will start something that early, I will destroy something that even haven't existed yet. In reality, life doesn't pause to hand us ideal conditions. There's always something slightly off. A bad day, tired week, or distracted mind. And if I waited for all of this to be perfect, nothing will never move forward. Days passed without pressing a record button, and weeks passed without editing any clips. And act of creating something, it felt even heavier and almost impossible. And it's not because I have lack of skill, but because I let my imagined standards to control me. And I'm saying this from experience. I filmed events, I edited projects, and I told stories, and I know exactly how much time and effort you have to invest in these such things to get a perfect result that everybody wants. And yet, knowing how to do something doesn't make it simpler. And in the end, the knowledge sometimes give you more complexibility and more invisible pressure. Standards that were supposed to level me up now are becoming excuse not to start, making the creative process more fragile before it even starts. The breakthrough came when I stopped waiting for permission. I realized that ideas were already there, and the conditions that I was almost every time waiting for, there were just in my imagination. And I started letting myself to work with what I had at that moment. And there were like messy days, foggy brain, and everything like that. But just starting to create it made it even more easier. I would say that ideas connected naturally, and they started to feel more precise and perfect. Something that I really wanted to. Not because the idea itself was perfect, but the actions that I took, it started to shape the idea. And the clarity didn't need to appear before I started to work. The clarity came in the process of working. And that simple change transformed the way I approach the project now. It's like you are in a dark room and you can't see any further than your next step. Of course, you are afraid to step forward because you don't know what's in the dark. But when you start walking, you feel the environment and you are creating a new path for yourself. A lot of people are staying on that visible side and never creating their own perfect path for themselves. And before the realization, I tried something that I thought was a responsible approach. I listed all my ideas in the Notion. I stacked them one by one and waited for the perfect moment. For the perfect moment that I going to feel these ideas, which is going to be stronger, and now it's the perfect time to film them. But without the action, idea stayed theoretically. And every day I postponed them, they gained more and more weight. It wasn't really the work that felt impossible, but it was the emotions that I was putting on myself. Most of them was the expectations that everything had to matter immediately. And that pressure really kills momentum slowly and quietly. And that mindset shift that wasn't really easy, but I just stopped to ask if the idea was perfect or good enough. I was just asking if it's good enough to work with. And I started to allow myself to work with the ideas that I have and what energy that I have at the day. And even if the result haven't polished perfect or fully formed, sometimes the day was calm, sometimes it was messy, and sometimes I didn't even know where it's going to lead. But the difference was clear. The process was more lighter. I understood that the momentum doesn't come from perfect ideas and the perfect moment. It comes from just starting and doing something. It appears from showing up, from taking the first step, from engaging with what exists, even if it feels imperfect. And this really changed my perspective how I view the creativity now. I do not wait for the perfect moments or perfect ideas. I no longer wait for clarity to start, but I understood that the perfect idea is forming when you are moving, when you are doing the stuff. When you are talking, you have new ideas and everything, but if you take the idea, put it on the table, and wait for a perfect moment, eventually it's gonna grow with like a glass box around it, and it will never grow bigger than that. But if you are moving it, it will never let it grow with a glass box around it, and there's going to be more and more space to grow it and make it perfect as you want it. And even this video, before half an hour, I didn't even know what I'm going to make a video about, but now I'm talking about this because I'm not waiting for a perfect moment. If I have some kind of idea, and I had this idea to just sit in front of camera and say, I don't have anything to film about, and that's where the idea came from, and that's how I am giving you this video now. And if you found this interesting, press the like button. It's gonna help for the algorithms. And see ya.